You hear that? It's like baby.
I hear you.
Zion.
What up?
Hey, look, bro. I already knew I was the real, boy. But you had one, bro. Got one.
That's love right there.
Real, boy. Everybody go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Purpose Over Pain podcast. We thank you for being here today. And I want to say to all of our listeners, all of our subscribers, those who are liking the podcast, we just want to tell you how much we appreciate you. We thank you for sharing. Our numbers are going up. But most importantly, people are being blessed by the podcast. So we thank you all. And we want to tell you over and over and over again, we appreciate you. We appreciate our Purpose Over Pain family. But I am excited today. I got the guest in the building, my friend Kecia Myers. Y'all put y'all hands together for Kecia Myers. Hey, my friend. You look good. You look good, lady. How you doing? Get all dressed up to come on here, huh? That's good.
Y'all deserve it. I wouldn't say it's dressed up. It's just worth putting on some clothes.
You look good. You look good. Nice having you in the building. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're real busy over there. What's your name of your shop?
Queen Cuts Corner Salon Studios.
Queen
Cuts.
Okay, Queen Cut. Man, I see a couple of people here. You have them looking real good. Right? I'm thinking about firing my barber. Not for real, Dana, because I know you're gonna be listening. But I'm thinking about firing them and coming over there. But you do a great
Dana,
job.
that's my buddy.
That's your buddy. Dana, your buddy. Okay, then. All right. So y'all all right? Then he don't mind if you just. He don't mind if you have me for a little bit. He don't mind if I go on vacation over there for a little bit. But shout out to Deacon Dana. But thank you for being here with us today. I know you got a lot going on. You're an entrepreneur. I know you got a ton of stuff going on. I think you sell products too, right?
Yeah.
You sell products, facial products,
gear,
hair products,
gear. I have an entire gear line as well.
Wow.
The t-shirts, hats.
Wow.
Jewelry.
Oh wow.
Body oils.
Man, hold something.
Now, it sounds like a flea market.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
But it's not. It don't sound like
no. It don't sound like no flea market to me. It sounds like ching ching. That's what it sounds like to me. Let me hold something, girl. Let me hold something. But congratulations to all of that. And then later on, later on in the podcast, we'll get you to come back and share that information so people know where to find you, where they can help support your business and the things that you're doing. And I definitely want to say this podcast is brought to you by Another Clothing Line. We'll be coming real soon. It's sponsored by that. Also, make sure you go out and get our books. We'll talk about this a little bit later. I believe in us supporting each other, and not only supporting each other, but supporting people that's trying to do their very best. And so, but we'll talk about that later. But I'm glad you're in the building. I thank you. I want you to share with us just a little bit about yourself before we go into what I want to talk about today.
Okay, so I come from a family of four, which is my mom, my dad, my sister.
Shout out.
My sister Kim. So it's two of us. It's actually two of us from my mom and dad, and then we have a half sister.
Oh wow.
Lawanda.
Okay.
That's my family.
That's your
dynamic.
Family. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 girls. So, no boys in there.
No boys.
That's why you support.
No, I don't think
no
my
boy.
daddy.
Really? No boy. Yeah.
Because I had it in him.
Yeah.
I think he had it in him.
Yeah, I remember Kim, but I don't remember the.
Well, yeah, we wasn't really raised together.
Okay, yeah, I know y'all weren't raised because they wasn't over there when we used to come.
Yeah. No. We wasn't raised together.
Yeah, me and Kecia go way back. I mean, we go way back. We go way back to elementary school.
Kings Trail.
Yeah, Kings Trail Elementary.
You was my square. You remember my square dance partner?
I was.
Yeah.
I probably was because we was pretty close.
Yeah.
I was sharing with Carmen that because y'all stayed in some apartments right around the corner from King Trail, and I was thinking, I'm saying, wait a minute, I was in the 5th grade, like how was we over to the apartment over there?
Because actually, like y'all would when we would have our square dance parties.
Yes, now it's coming.
The square dance show.
Yes,
y'all would leave school and come home with me.
Yes.
And then later on that evening.
I was trying to like figure that out. Like we was grown in the 5th grade. Like, what we doing over there? House
Right.
in the 5th
I
grade?
mean, I was
But no,
wondering
but-
that too, because like
I'm like,
that
oh.
don't make sense.
And then,
But
and
I
then-
remember,
yeah,
but
I did.
that was
and
weird.
I remember the square dance now that you say it. And I mean, like, I think that was 5th grade, and then after 5th grade, we broke up, right?
Right.
We didn't see each other for
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back at Gilbert again.
Gilbert.
Yeah. And
Well,
then-
R. Did you go to R.
yeah, I went to R. Brown.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
so it had
yeah.
to be R. Brown.
So
then.
R. Brown and Gilbert. So
remember
at the
George
time,
Gilbert?
y'all were bussed over there
We were busted. That's right.
where I was raised, and then
Then
and
then
we
they
got
busted all
bussed-
over here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we got
that's
bussed
good.
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
By that time, I was which it was the same area, but it was considered the Bay Meadows area.
Yeah. It was.
So as we got older, I moved further into Bay Meadows.
okay.
We did, and that was pretty much how we were raised until we got older, and then we went further out Mandarin.
Wow. But
Yeah.
now you might not agree with me on this. I'm gonna say it anyway. I mean, it might
I
be a
don't
fight.
agree.
It might be a fight though. But I think that when you got bust over here, that's where you got your swag from. I'm just saying. I believe I got some other
Some
witness
would
that.
say.
I think
Some
you got
would
your
say.
swag. I think you got your swag when you got bust over here. They helped you out. You know what I mean? And you took that swag to Bay Meadows and you gave it the Bay Meadows swag, and you just own it. But you got it from here. You know what I
I
mean?
just
you came
had
out
it in
east.
Bay Meadows.
Huh?
I just had it in Bay
You just
Meadows.
had it- yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got it from here and took
I
it
didn't
over
get
there.
it from there.
We gonna
I
debate
had to
about.
spread it. I had to give it
Yeah,
a little bit to
spread it.
both
Okay.
sides.
Yeah, but we was happy to have you over here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we was glad. I was definitely, and I'll go into that later. Who shout out, tell us about your family life. You know what I mean? Not just your family right now. Tell
Okay,
us
that was the beginning. My mom, my dad, me, and my sister.
Okay.
So I'm a mom of 2.
Okay.
I have a 38-year-old son.
What's his name?
And
Say his name.
Corey.
Corey. Shout
Corey.
out Corey. You know, we
Everybody
got him.
knows Corey.
That's right.
I had a 38-year-old son, and I have a 20-year-old daughter in college.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
That's right.
I will tell more of the story about Corey in my story.
Okay. All right. Okay.
In my story. But that's why I'm married to one of your boys, Davin Austin Myers.
Davin Austin
That's
Myers.
my king.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Davin.
So we're 21
Shout out
years.
Daddy D, 20
Yeah.
years.
21.
21.
It'll be 22 this year,
Rob be
September.
22. Rob
Yeah.
be 21 for me in December.
Right.
December 7th. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations that y'all put up with each other for a long time.
Right,
Ain't that
right,
something?
right.
Hey, man, how long it took you to whip them in shape?
He's still getting whipped in shape. That don't end. You know it.
I know her. I know her. No, okay. All right. I'm gonna come help him though. I'm gonna come help him. But I think you're doing a good job with it. But shout out to Davin. Shout out to Davin. But thank you. Like I said, thank you for coming in. And I always like to start our guests out with name of the show, Purpose Over Pain. And so I always ask our guests when they hear that phrase, purpose over pain, like what does that mean to you? Purpose over pain.
Well, personally, I think so many things come to mind in Purpose Over Pain. I think that my beginning pain started with my son, actually. I was a teen mom. So I was 16 when I had him, actually turning 16 when I had him. And that was probably the biggest hurt. It was sadness. It was more sadness. And it was actually his dad was we were family friends. Like our families were very close. Actually, our families are still very close. So we experienced puberty together.
Wow.
That's pretty much what it was. It was both of our first time. Nobody knew what they were doing. But I remember, because like I said, I grew up in Bay Meadows, but you know how that weekend goes when you go and attend your grandma. You go
That's right.
to your grandmother's house on the weekend.
Oh man!
So my
That's
grandmother
her get out of
lived.
jail time.
Yeah. So my grandmother lived. She lived on the north side over in a little area called Picketville. Most people don't know about it.
Oh man!
It's
man.
like
Got
an
some
out
Picketville
east.
in you.
It's
Okay.
like it's like a baby out east.
It's becoming more clear now.
But it's
Go ahead.
Picketville, and so that was the weekend for us. And I remember getting, as we were aging, my dad he would say, you need to stop letting them girls go over there. your mama ain't gonna watch them the same way. They're getting older. They need to be home more and this, that, and the other. So, but my mom, she saw it as, it was time for us to spend with our families.
Yeah.
Because that's where all of the cousins showed
Yeah.
up. And that's where, because we were in a totally different life, everything than my cousins and just family members. So the only way that we would get that unity was to go over there with them.
Right. That's important.
And we look forward to it, And my son's dad, he was just basically a part of. I'm gonna say he was just, but he was a part of, the neighborhood. Our families, like I said, are very close. They're still very close. Like my mom and he's from a family of 18.
Oh, wow.
And he's the baby.
Wow.
So
his mom and daddy were tired. They couldn't watch him no more by the time he came along. Anybody could watch him. He could do it.
Yeah, so he was young. So he had siblings that are close to my mom and dad, and aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
So it just really goes deep because we still really have that type of bond. So I think that right there was probably still the beginning of pain for me.
Okay.
Because that wasn't something that you would actually see where I was from. You wouldn't see a teen pregnant. You wouldn't, most of my friends, or all of my friends, for most of them were Caucasian. They, I was, came from the whole mother father dynamic, and it was just not something that you would see where I was from.
Yeah.
So that was really, really hard. And I think the biggest part of that pain was I hurt my parents. And mainly I hurt my dad. My mom as well, but that, it has to be hard for a man to hear his baby is pregnant.
Of course.
Because normally it's like, you're coming from the dynamic of single mom, you're from the hood, you this, you that. So that's what statistics would put out there. But that wasn't the case. I didn't come from a hard situation. I didn't come from, a neglecting father and all this type of stuff. I came from a full-fledged family, and this happened.
And that was, I think, that probably is the thing that made it painful for him.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Is that he was there.
Yeah.
Right. And I can imagine as a father talking to his daughter whom he loved, or his daughters whom he loved. I can imagine the father like giving them like real fatherly advice.
Right.
You know what I mean,
and that was my dad. He was a very
and telling you those
that's
things.
how he.
So he was that way.
Yeah. He loved to talk to you about things. He loved to give you scenarios. He loved to. He was very, that was his discipline.
Yeah.
So his talk was just as bad as, I'm just like, beat me, please. Just beat me.
Don't beat me, man. Don't say that. Just hit me.
But he always had words.
Words of wisdom, yeah.
So I can remember the day that it came to the point that my mom had to tell him. And but my sister had to tell my mom.
Wow, that was hard
because I had to confide in my sister.
That was hard for everybody.
That was real hard. On the
whole family.
My sister, that's my girl. She's one of my best friends as well, and she had my back then. She, and so honestly, how it happened, I wasn't
We
educated.
know how it happened, Kecia. We know.
I know I just wasn't educated. I was very shy, just lack of knowledge, basically. So I wasn't doing anything that other people weren't doing. I just didn't know any better on how to prevent it from happening.
Oh man, you brought up something real good.
Yeah, and I couldn't. Although my sister was always there for me, I was just that much of a child that I couldn't even talk to her about it.
Wow.
I couldn't even go to her and talk to her about what I was feeling or, what happened or anything.
Yeah, my next move.
I couldn't, because she I'm sure she would have educated me.
Yeah. And then she's how old is she?
3 years older than me.
3 years old.
Yeah.
So
she was older than me, just mentally, everything.
Mentally. Yeah.
So when I did get to the point that I had to tell her, she was like, well, I'm going to be with you, but I'll talk to mom. She took the role to talk to her. But when she went to tell her, she didn't put a name with it. She didn't put a person. She said, "Well, one of us pregnant."
Yeah, one of them. Oh
So
man,
my mom automatically,
very
"Oh my
sacrificial of her.
God, Kim, how could you?"
She sacrificed herself. I mean, didn't she? You know what I mean?
She was like, "How could you?" And she was like, "No,
Why would
mom,
you
it's
think
not
it's
me." She was like, "Not my baby." Oh God.
Oh man.
So that was really that was hard.
Yeah, and you were
was
how
hard.
old? You said
I was 15, actually.
Yeah, 15.
When I got pregnant.
Wow, 15.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yes.
And it wasn't even long after. I just did not, I was so uneducated. I just didn't. I was a kid.
Yeah,
I really
of
was.
course.
You know, even in my mentality, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, and when I was, you know, touched with the womanly thing at 15 as well, I remember the conversation from my mom being, "You can get pregnant now."
You get pregnant now, but it wasn't any details followed.
There was no details.
There was no details.
You know,
There was no
so I'm
education.
just like, you know,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
I get pregnant from kissing? Can I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
pregnant?
kid.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
what is it?
Yeah.
But you know, hey, that was the best she could do. So
Yeah.
I don't hold any anger where that's
Of
concerned.
course. Of course. not.
So when she told her, she went on to my mom went on through her cry, and she had to go and tell my dad.
Wow. Wow.
And
boy.
I would not show up. I stayed back. I was in
you
the
ain't wanna be a
room.
part
I
of that
was like,
meeting.
no, I'm not going in there because I know he is severely disappointed.
Yeah.
And so when I went in there, I mean, when I heard her talking to him, I heard him, and all I just heard mumbling. But then I heard him say, "What?"
Oh
I
man.
was like, "Oh God."
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh,
Did you run away
God.
then? That was the time.
I just would not. I wouldn't come out the room.
You wouldn't come out the room.
I would not come out the room.
Did you lock the door at least?
I don't know, but I just would not come out the room.
Because it's you know, and to your point, you know, I can imagine, you know, it being painful. Number one for you, you know what I mean, because you can't forget about you.
Right.
You know, a lot of times we think about others and what
Mm-hmm.
these things have, you know, what it did in them, and sometimes we forget about like what it did with me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I
Exactly.
think the first thing was you being disappointed, being
Yep.
that, you know what I mean? Because you had to worry. See, you was the only one that had to carry all of them.
Right.
All of them didn't have to carry all of them.
Man, let me
Right.
tell you something.
So, but you had to carry all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, so of course it's more painful for you. And
Right.
so, and then you talking to your sister, and then your sister having to have that conversation with your mama, and then you thinking about that you know,
Right.
that I can't even go and talk to mom and dad. I got to talk to
Right.
her. So that's another thing. Like, why can't you come talk to us? You know what I mean? So so you had to deal with all of that.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So I can imagine it was more painful for you than it was for anybody. Right. And you know, and to get to your dad, you know, like I said, your dad being, you know, because most dad, they pride themselves off, you know, of keeping it real with their kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially dads that's trying to do well. You know what I
Right.
mean, dads that's
You know,
that-
very
that, you know,
protective of the
yeah,
daughters,
they're
and
trying
you know,
to-
it's
they're
like, how
trying
did
to-
this slip
responsible dads.
through my fingers? You know, how did this happen?
How did this happen on my
Yeah,
watch?
on
You know
my
what I mean?
watch.
On my watch, how did this
Exactly.
happen?
Exactly.
So did the pain continue in that process?
Yeah, I did. So, my dad, my mom and sister, they left, and it was just my dad and me in the house.
Oh wow,
I'm like, oh God,
wow.
oh God. So
just you and
my
your dad?
yeah, and you know, for at that moment, at
Okay.
that time,
Yeah.
and so I remember my dad coming to the door, knocking on my door. He was like, "Kecia, come on out here."
Time to have this talk. Time to have this talk.
That
girl.
means I want to take a look at it now. But he's like, "Come on out here," and so I
Take this
came
woman like a
out,
woman.
and he,
Say this woman like a man.
he sat me down. But that was my dad was a talk. He liked to talk about things.
Yeah.
So I think he needed that time, and then once he gathered himself, he came to me and called me out, and he was like, "Okay, so you know, I can't act as if I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
I am." He said, "But I don't blame you." He said, because because as parents, we should have been more protecting. He said, so what we're going to do is we're going to raise him. We're going to raise him.
Wow.
We're going to make sure that everything goes fine. And we're going to make sure that he gets what he needs. I mean, the baby gets what, because we didn't know at that time, that the baby get what he needs. And you're going to continue to do what you need to do.
Wow.
He said, it should not stop what you have to do. It's just going to change the route.
Change the route.
Yeah, because it's not just about you anymore.
And kudos to Dad.
Yeah,
that was a power move. Shout out to your dad. That was
he
a power
said,
move.
but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Go cross that field and get bit one time.
Don't have no another baby that's going.
Don't come back in here again.
Come back in
Go
again.
cross that field again, you get bit. It's on you.
Yeah.
So he said, it's not. It will not happen again.
Wow.
It will not happen again.
So let me jump in here and ask you this: did it not happen again on purpose, or did it not happen again because you became educated, right?
Yes.
On the job
Yes.
training, sort
Yes.
of that this doesn't happen. I'm educating myself now about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So was there a part of education?
Well, you know what? I can't even say I educated myself, because at that point it was just different.
Yeah.
It was just, it was different. Everything about life was different. From
Okay.
the moment that I found out I was pregnant, everything has been different. Everything was different. So I can't say that I got educated. I got smarter.
Okay.
I grew up more, and I always heard my dad's words.
Yeah.
I still hear his words.
Yeah.
I always heard his words, like,
I ain't
we're going to
disappointed
do this
like
together,
no more.
and, I don't go back down that road.
Wow.
And so that was it. Well, most of the pain came from, so after everybody knows now, I'm probably like 7 months, because I was like 6 months before anybody even knew.
Okay.
So I'm like 7 months, and I get sick. I get really, really sick to where I'm in the hospital for like a month
Wow.
or so. I got kidney stones while I was pregnant. And it was just very hard. I was very sick. I lost a drastic amount of weight. I could not nurture myself and my son, so they had to hospitalize me. And it was just, from that point, it was a really hard, bad journey. Mm-hmm. And at this point, my dad knew his siblings. He knew the family, but he didn't know him because he was a younger one.
Okay.
So that was so painful for my dad to now watch his baby. Not only is she pregnant,
And
she's in hospital.
Sick. Yeah.
And there's no him.
Yeah.
There was no him.
There's no him.
At
He's
this
not
point,
around.
we grew up together.
Yeah.
We were, I know it sounds weird, but we were like brothers and
Yeah.
sisters.
No, it don't sound. Yeah, it's a matter of time that y'all spent together. Y'all know each other. And like you said, y'all was kids, and y'all didn't even know what y'all were doing. So y'all really was supposed to be really more friends than anything else.
Right.
That's just something that the friends did.
But we knew we weren't family.
Yeah, we know y'all wasn't family. You know what I mean? The
That's
friends
how
done
that
mess around.
happened.
And the friends done mess around and got too friendly. But y'all
They
was
trusted
more,
us too much.
Yeah, y'all was more friends than friendly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can understand your dad being there, him being disappointed he's nowhere around.
Right.
And as every father would be like, okay, you impregnated, where you at?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What's
I mean, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's what I was going to ask
you. It was
how.
extremely embarrassing.
Oh man. Yeah.
Because we grew up together. Like, where are you?
Are you?
Like, why would you do this? Like,
we
why
was
would
friends
you
forever.
not be here? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable for me.
And then you're young too.
And we're young, but later in life, whatever. But it was just extremely embarrassing. It was hurtful. I'm here now, pregnant. It's obvious that I'm about to be with this child by myself. And now I'm a statistic. Now I'm that teenage girl, that's pregnant, that's a baby mama now, with no daddy there, and that wasn't what I came from.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. And so my dad held a strong grudge for him.
Wow.
Because, moving forward, once my son was born, and, he probably seen him a couple times because he left to go to Orlando to work so that he could take care of us.
Yeah.
Well, he went there and fell in love,
Yeah.
like immediately.
Yeah.
They're married to this day, which
Okay.
is cool. I really like her.
Yeah.
I really love her. She's great to my son and everything. But at the time, it was like, wow,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
supposed to be going to
Yeah.
get work, get money,
Yeah, you
and
going
you're
there.
falling in love.
Yeah, you fall in love, brother. This ain't what we talked about. You gotta get this thing together.
Right.
Get yourself on back
Exactly.
home. So and then, once again, I can't overstate this enough. You were young, 15, 16 years old.
Right.
Times where, we're most vulnerable, right? People are more sensitive. They haven't had up to that point. They haven't had a whole lot of experiences.
Right.
This is a new case, new
Right.
case study. You know what I mean? And so all this more, and you got a baby,
Right.
And on top of that, you mad that you done disappointed your family. So you got
Right.
all this stuff.
All
on
of
you.
this.
So I can
All of
imagine
this as a 16-year-old.
as a 16-year-old.
Yeah. So moving forward,
Yeah.
the pain got worse.
Wow.
As my son became a toddler, we started noticing that he wasn't responding like a child his age.
Yes.
So we're like, oh, what's going on? He should be able to do this. He should be able to do that. Why is he not doing this stuff? And so we took him to the doctor, and they were like, well, we can't really put a label on him until he's 5.
Wow.
But, because some kids are slower than others, it take them longer to do certain things or whatever the case may be. Well, it turns out that he was special needs. He wasn't on his own. So now here it is. I'm a teen mom with a special needs child with no dad.
With no dad.
His special needs is like he just never caught up to his age.
His age.
Like he's not physically impaired
Yeah.
or, he can talk. He just never caught up to his age. He remained basically a child. So that was at that point. Now I'm just like, Lord,
Wow.
what in the world?
Wow.
Like everything is
This can't be. This can't be
Right.
happening to me.
This is crazy. Like everything is happening and he's nowhere around. So I built up a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Where it was a lot of anger.
Wow.
And I closed out. I just went dark.
Wow.
Because I'm just like, I have to figure this out. I have to figure it out because although my parents are there and they were there, but it was like, it's still my situation.
Yeah.
And I have to figure this out. I didn't come from, you walk away type of stuff. I had to stand in it whether I could or not. If I couldn't, I needed to learn.
Yeah. And then your son needed you.
Yeah, he needed me.
And let me ask you this before we go on. During that season of you, going through what you was going through, and you had a support system, obviously with your mother, your father, and your sisters. During that time, and this is what jumped out at me. During that time, I know you're a woman of faith now. You're a woman of faith. During that time, did you have like people of faith that was around you at that time, like ministering to you?
Yes. Largely, I would say my aunt.
Okay,
I have
okay.
an aunt, my aunt Lil Bit.
Okay.
Now,
Shout
I
out.
think that
Shout out to Lil Bit.
she got everybody covered in the family.
Yeah, that's right. Your auntie. Shout out to
She's
I
saved,
just was interested
sanctified,
to know.
and filled with the Holy Ghost.
And that's what
That's how she addressed him. You say, well,
I know we got one in every family, you know what I mean? So I was wondering, like, during that time, was it anyone, like, but once again, they wasn't in the home as well. And so
Right.
I don't know how much you shared with them,
Yeah.
or how much you shared with her, how much information she knew. Because the only time, really people can only minister to what they see or what God is showing. And by her not being in the home, I didn't know how much she was in your ear during this this critical time, and you're going through this stuff. That's a lot for a young woman.
Needless to say, and she was there in my grandmother's house. She lived with my grandmother. But needless to say, going over there stopped.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
It
So
stopped.
that stopped then. And so now you're dealing with emotionalism on everybody's side.
Yeah.
Because really at this point, everybody emotional. You know what I mean? Your family emotional, you more emotional than anybody else, but everybody emotional. But listen, we're gonna come back. We're gonna take a break real quick. This is Purpose Over Pain podcast. Hey, well, we're back. Purpose Over Pain podcast. Remember, you all go out and get Hannah's Secret in Savannah. This is a good book by Sharon Roger Griffin. Make sure you go back, go and support it. It's on Amazon. Also, I have another book here, The Life and the Times of the Real Billy Ray Valentine. This book is about Joseph Chappelle, my friend in Atlanta. We grew up together. He has a great book. And also my book on the end, Blessed 2, that is a follow-up from Blessed 1. You can find that on Amazon as well. For those of you that already got a copy of the book, we thank you for supporting us. We were in Barnes & Nobles for a good stretch, so it did pretty well there. So we just thank you all, but continue to support Purpose Over Pain podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Go to our YouTube channel, HLW2 and Purpose Over Pain pod. Hey, I'm back in the building. I'm back in the building with Kecia. Kecia, I'm jump right back in. I was asking you about your auntie and you having somebody to actually, talk to you, give you the word. You're 16 years old, and as you said, you stopped going over there, so that word stopped, and so now you're home. You're 16. You're going through. You got a son. You just found out that your son is special needs, and so now, how did you find this out? Because I heard you say that over a period of time, you all start noticing that he was behind. Mm-hmm. How was he at that time for you all to start noticing it?
Probably at about 1.
Okay, about 1. So you all caught
we started noticing certain little things, but it was just a concern.
Yeah.
And then as he got older, it wasn't catching up.
Okay.
You know, and I think it was like noticing that he wasn't talking. He wasn't even trying to talk. You know, it was just certain things. It was hard to. I understood what they were saying when they said they could not label him, because it was just really hard, because you see baby, then you see little boy. You really don't know if he's delayed.
That's
for
right.
real.
You don't know.
You really don't.
You don't.
You know, because I've seen situations where the child was really delayed and they caught up and went on about life.
Wow.
That wasn't his case.
Okay.
That was not his case.
And then you're a young mother. You obviously, even though your parents saying that they're gonna take the baby and raise him, you still there with them. So you raising it. Yeah. You raising the baby as well. And so as a and then.
But they made me financially do it.
They made you find it. Okay.
I had to do it, and I had to. So
what was your school situation?
Yeah, that's what I'm
like.
So and I went to school. It was just too much shame. I attended Wolfson.
Okay.
And it was too much shame to deal with.
Yeah.
And so they come up with this bright idea to go to this school for pregnant girls and stuff like that, which was, I think, Darnell Cookman.
Darnell Cookman. I remember Darnell Cookman. I used to go there.
I went one day.
One day.
One day.
Yeah, Darnell Cookman, because they had a pregnant wing.
Yeah.
As soon as you come into school, it's on it to your left.
And that first day. So I mind you, like I said, I'm just not the statistic type of person, right? Woman, and I'm in there, and these girls, these 2 pregnant girls, get in a fight. I think they were pregnant by the same guy.
Wow.
And they about tried to kill each other.
Wow. So
I was like, oh no, I can't do
going
this.
Here. This ain't this.
I went home.
This jail.
I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's just, I can't.
The first day.
I can't do with it. I mean, like right now, I would probably say it's too much for my mental health.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it was then, but that was far too much. So I went home and I was like, and so they're like, well, what are you gonna do?
Wow.
And I'm just like, I can't. At this point, this was 11th grade. I can't. I just can't go back there. I can't do that. So my mom, she had understanding. My dad, he kind of understood, but he's like, you're gonna have to do something, because you know that you already starting to get off track.
Yeah.
So my mom worked at Wolfson. So my mom, she went and she had a talk with all of the teachers,
Wow.
all of my teachers. She got my schedule, and they had an agreement that I could do it at home.
Wow.
But at this time, by the time that got settled, I was going into my senior year, so I had to do my 11th grade and my senior year at the same time.
Wow. Wow.
And
Oh, a
so
newborn baby.
yeah,
16.
Yeah.
You was 17 now.
yeah.
17. Wow.
Yeah.
Dealing with the
Because
health
when I
issues.
graduated, I was 17.
Wow.
So I just I it was for a year I had to do both years, and I made it through. I don't know how I did it, but I
Grace
did
of
it.
God.
God,
Grace
God
of
did
God.
it.
You ain't know then, but you know now.
Right when I look back, but yeah, I did it, and so I was doing the check off. Okay, so I beat that
Yeah,
odds.
that's right.
So from there, it was just like, now you have to work. And even then, I worked. I don't even know how I did it, but my mom was like, okay, so when I worked, she was like, okay, you're going to have to buy pants. You work
Yeah.
to take care of
of
him.
this baby. Yeah.
You know
Because
what
they
I'm
wanted
saying?
you, I'm sure they wanted you to
Yeah.
feel the responsibility of
yeah,
that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because that'll determine whether or not you want to do it again.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So that was like
Yeah.
that was like a preventative measures anyway.
Oh, they
You know
did
what I
a lot
mean?
of preventative. Like they made me have him with no type of pain medicine.
Yeah.
So I had to have him naturally.
Wow. Yeah, natural. Oh, wow. Wow.
They was like,
Well,
okay, we go. But that was birth control right there, Jack. Because
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
like self-made birth control right there.
this
Yeah,
right here
no
ain't
wing.
worth it. I don't see how these girls do this.
This ain't happening again. Got this
I
baby,
knew
got
I
my
was
money.
gonna die. Yeah,
Got-
but I knew I wasn't gonna go down that road again.
Wow.
At this point, if I didn't know anything, I knew how to prevent myself from getting pregnant again.
Wow. But
So
you're still going through this journey,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
still hurt, still dealing with a lot of pain, right? But you gotta live. You gotta move.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and
you in it.
It's not. My
Yeah.
mom used to say all the time, "It ain't just about you no
It ain't
more.
just about you no more.
I hear
So-
you. Well, I'm just letting you know.
Wow. So you graduate.
Yeah.
So after you graduate, now what?
Jobs.
Job.
Because I was, prior to that, everything, I was going off to college, I was doing, it just like, and that's what my dad was saying. It doesn't have to change, your plans. You're just going to have a different route.
Oh.
And that's what he was talking about. You can forget about the college thing right now because they weren't in a position for me to go off to college or anything and maintain, because they were still working fully
They were
in
still-
their
oh,
in
yeah.
their work and business and
Yeah.
everything. So it wasn't like they could just sit home and
Just take care of
and
everything.
take care of
yeah.
him.
Yeah, they was they was
yeah.
lifing too. They was
Exactly.
doing they were doing things that
Exactly.
the common people, everybody do.
Exactly.
And they would and they wanted to do better, but the reality was that they couldn't do
Right.
much more.
They couldn't
And
do
so
much more.
let me ask you this. During the midst of that pain and like you said, it's a lot of pain, a lot of like at what point where do you remember at one point did you start seeing like a turn, and not as much a turn in and it could be that, but not as much as a turn as it relates to how your son's father dealt with him, but as it relates to like you and your pain, like did you start seeing a shift?
A shift in
your
better
perspective.
and doing in
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So as I was going, I realized, okay, this is how I was raised. This is what I'm used to. This is what. So I can't go
Yeah,
backwards.
can't go backwards.
You know what I'm saying? I can't go and live in a situation I'm not used to.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
a standard that I've been.
yeah. I can't raise him in a situation I'm not used to.
Yeah.
So I have to, everything I do now is about him. Everything, every move that I make, I have to consider him.
Wow.
And so that's when I went into, just working different jobs and, I tried college. But I tried college with I just couldn't do it. It was too much. It was too much for him.
Logistically, it was too much.
It was just too much to work,
Yeah.
take care of him, and go to school.
Yeah.
I tried it. I did it for a year, and it was too much. So I commend myself for even going that long.
So do I.
Yeah. So
even doing, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to do that, trying to go to college, trying to work, and so you got to a point where you strategically had a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a plan.
You know what I mean?
So I said,
and you were
well,
at this time, you was how old at this particular time where you decided, hey, I got to come up out of this? How
probably about 20.
Ooh, man.
Probably about 20 because now I mind you, the focus is I'm working. I'm working odd jobs, but
you're working.
But I'm working, and I'm like, Lord, I got to do something. Like I have to get something that's worth taking care of. So I started working at different temporary agencies because I don't, I don't even want to work at fast food. I'm just, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So. I tried it and it just wasn't for me.
Because you had a different appetite.
Right.
You had a different appetite. You knew how you were raised. You
right.
knew, and not only that, you knew what type of lifestyle that you
right.
wanted to have. And
right.
you wasn't settling for that.
And my mentality was if it's a fast food, I gotta own it.
Get on. Yeah.
I mean, that was just my mentality. I've always had an entrepreneurial mentality.
That's good.
I mean, it's just always been it. I never, but I didn't pursue it because I'm thinking I can't.
I can't do it.
I can't.
Yeah.
So through these agencies, I was able to, every job I was to get through the agency, I always advanced. I always was like, we want to hire you.
Wow.
So I've always been impressive in the workplace. So I ended up getting into insurance, working at this insurance company. And in this insurance company, that's where I met my best friend, T.
Okay.
And
shout out to T.
Yeah. So when we worked for a while and I met her, she was just graduating from FAM and this was like her first real job. And it wasn't just a lot of black people there.
Yeah.
So we automatically clicked.
Yeah.
And so I would, at this point now, I'm still trying to take my son to the barbershop because I want him to, he has to have this look. He has to be clean. He had to have a fresh haircut. He has
all of that.
He just had to, because
he got to be right. You with me, boy, you got to be you with me, boy, you got to be right. You gotta,
so I'm up
we ain't going to look like what we going through. We ain't even look
Right. So I'm talking 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in the line at a barbershop.
Wow.
And I'm just like, this is crazy. And I'm still number 5. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. And then they looking like, she gonna do all this for this little child?
Little child. But have him right. He represent me.
Women it wasn't that popular for women to be in barbershops at the time.
Yeah.
So
I know you're right. We either went there by ourselves, our daddy took us. I don't think I remember no woman being in a barbershop. We'd go around there and get your haircut, boy.
So I was in there. Because they would talk about all this man stuff.
Okay.
I wasn't really interested. So I used to watch the barber.
Wow. And
I just used to watch him.
I was going to ask you, during that time, was there anybody that you began to mimic either, or you had a mentor? Because sometimes we can glean from people. They don't necessarily got to be around.
Yeah.
Right. And to your point, you was in the barbershop and you just looking.
I was just watching.
And
they would be talking.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it was Tommy on Baxter's Barbershop on Emerson.
Really? Wow.
And,
I remember Baxter's Barbershop.
Yeah, but that was over there in Bay Meadows and stuff. That was the only black shop over in that area.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
So we had to travel
Baxter.
over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and he was his barber, and he used to, and he had patients. My son, I don't know, he's always been really good at sitting down and getting a haircut.
Really?
Even with his special needs now, he's always been he would just sit in the chair and get his haircut.
No problem.
Yeah.
Perfect child.
So he kind of took to him, and I would just watch him all the time, the different steps that he went through and all this, that, and the other. So by the time, after a while, I said, I think I can do that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Wow. So
you like professionalism, everything about him. He swag.
Yeah, I loved everything. He was an older guy, but I just loved everything about how he did things, except all walk-ins. That was crazy.
That was crazy. But you
Yeah.
know, they was doing that.
I know it.
I mean, you
I
know,
know
y'all
it.
big time now.
I
Y'all don't do
changed the
that. You know what I mean? Y'all
When
gotta
I
get
went
it.
to hair school,
Y'all gotta get a call.
I had that idea in mind. I'm gonna change this narrative. I'm not saying I'm the one changing for everybody.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
just knew
Yeah,
I
you
wasn't
know,
gonna
new
walk.
school.
I wasn't gonna work like that.
They got to call the vice president and get an appointment now with y'all. Back in the day, that's how they did. They just walked in, got their hair cut. I mean, y'all entrepreneur barbers now.
Yeah. So I was cutting. That's you know. So I started and I tried it one time, and it was like, man, that looked good.
Wow.
So I'm like, but I'm gonna let the people tell me. So I go out. I mean, I take him out, and you know, and people's like, "Oh man, I like your haircut. I like it." And at
So
this point,
he was your first client.
he's trying to
Okay.
talk now. So
Yeah.
he didn't even call me mom. He'd be like, "Kecia, cut my hair. Kecia, cut my hair." That's what they'd be like. I like your hair.
That's your
Kecia,
walking
cut my hair.
advertisement.
That's how you.
But
they didn't even ask you
amazing.
that.
That's amazing that you know, I mean, that he was your first client.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you did it. You loved it.
Yeah.
You loved the response.
I love the response, but you know, I can't say I was in love with it at the time. But I found comfort.
Yeah.
And so as I continued to cut it, you know, my mom had friends and stuff with kids and grandkids and stuff like that. So I would cut their hair.
Okay.
So it just got better.
Was it therapeutic to you?
Yeah.
It was very therapeutic.
But I didn't know that.
You didn't know that.
I started realizing
Realizing
as
you just was doing it
I
because
was
you was
going
interested in it.
exactly.
And all of a sudden,
I
you
was
stopped.
just trying to do my son, so I don't have to be going in there all early like that or whatever. But it is, you know. Sometimes God used different things to line it
Preach.
up, and that was one of his
microphone.
that was one of his things right there. You know, he used that to line it up.
Yeah.
So and then right after that, so now I gained a whole clientele of, you know, I have my bag and I drive around. They call me Clipper on Wheels.
Clipper on
They was
wheels.
charging $3, but I thought I was
$3.
balling.
Yeah, you're balling.
I'm like,
You
listen, you're going to have at least 5 people before I come.
That's right. That's right.
That's $15.
Whoa, man. Wow.
But yeah, so that's how. And then my best friend, you know, I bring her up because while we were working, then I ended up leaving there, and my best Caucasian friend, she was a manager at Famous Footwear in Mandarin, and she brought me on because it was more flexibility for my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
My son was at Mandarin Oaks Elementary. It was right around the corner, so she was like, you know, I need an assistant manager. You know, I got you. Come on. So, you know, I went on over there. I left the insurance because I ain't really like being locked in the office like that. I'm just, I have
9
to
to
go.
5, but you just want to move
Yeah,
around.
I want to move
you like
around.
your own time. Yeah.
Exactly. So she said to me one day, because I would always leave work and go cut hair, leave work and go. She said, D-Shay, she called me by my middle name. D-Shay, why don't you just cut hair for a living?
Wow.
And I was like, no, I can't do that. Ain't no man gonna want me cutting their hair for real, this and that. She was like, no, I actually think it would be the opposite.
Wow.
I think if they see how you cut, they would appreciate you as a woman over a man. I don't know about that. But then I kept thinking about it. I'm like, okay, well, I can adjust things. I can have my own schedule. I can do this. I can do that. So I was like, okay, maybe that's something to think about. So I was like, okay, I'll sign up for that. I'll go and do that. Wow. And you know, so I called his dad. At this point, we communicate. You know, I called his dad and I said, listen, I have a plan. I have a year that I want to go to hair school. I want to get my license, and I need you to take him because, you know, but only for that year. I need you to take him because I'm going full-fledged. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like I said, that's just always my mentality.
So he was in your life.
Everything.
He was in the baby life somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat. But, you know, he was better.
Enough for you to say it's
he was
okay
better because at this point he's married now with other kids,
stable.
and she matured him a lot. So he was like, okay, no problem. You know, there's no problem. He can always come, you know. So it was like 1 year now. 1 year.
That's all.
I want my baby back. After you.
I'm coming to get him. I'm coming. I know how y'all are about them boys. I'm coming to get him. I'm coming to get him.
Yeah, so
me and your wife, all right. Don't make me fight it, but I'm coming to get my baby in a year.
And I wanted to go to school, in barber school. I wanted to go to barber school. I didn't want to work. I wanted to go full-fledged because I had 1 year. Yeah. Just 1 year. It was like no other option. It's 1 year. And so I'm like, okay, my lease was almost up on my apartment. By this time, I had moved out. I got my own place, and my lease was almost up. And my best friend was like, well, if you go, listen, if you go ahead and move out your lease or whatever. I went back home, and she said, whatever bills that you have, I'll pay them.
Wow.
Until you leave.
Wow. Now, tell me the best friend again? Letitia
K. O'Neal Austin.
Shout out. Yeah, that's a
T. I call it T.
That's a hold down move. Yeah. She said, "I'll pay all your bills for you."
She said, "I'll pay them." Like, of course, not rent and all
Yeah, I know
that
what you
because
mean,
I don't have but credit cards and insurance and. She said, "I will pay all of them. I don't have any kids. I don't, I'm making good money.
Yeah.
She was like, I believe in you, and I just believe that this will be great for you." And she did that. I mean, I still get teary eyed about it because she has never brought it up. Never brought it up.
Wow.
She's never, ever brought it up. I have brought it up.
Wow.
In one of my podcasts, as a matter of fact.
So I can imagine just on that alone, and I often say this, as you're going in your journey and you're going, those painful moments, and you kind of pushing, you start seeing, the sky begins to open. Are you taking it in, or are you taking a mental note that, man, things are, things are getting better, right? So what was your mind being relieved, a better place?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I had never met anybody that was sacrificed like that for me. That wasn't my family.
Love. You saw love and action.
That was like the first real friend I had experienced. I had people I call my best friend, and that's my friend, and all this, that, and the other. But the first true meaning of friendship came through her.
Wow.
Because I don't really know too many people.
Yeah, I don't know too many people.
But she did it, and she stayed with her word. She did it every month. She wrote her bills out. She wrote mine with it.
Wow.
And
this is what I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know after that year what happened with you going to get your papers.
So, as a matter of fact, I finished school for 4 years. Like in hair school and things like that, you have to, like if you had FSCJ and things like that, you have to go the whole course. Mm-hmm. I went to a private school, which is it was the most popular hair school out back in the day. It was Roffler's, and then it turned into hair design, it was hair design when I was there. And when I realized that you could do it at your pace, that's what I did.
Oh man!
So I started in November of '96, and in September of '97, I had my license.
Wow!
I went straight through.
You went straight
and
through.
I didn't work, but I needed money. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I just became very popular in the hair school. I was like the most popular barber in there.
Wow!
And I had a clientele like out of this world. Like everybody used to come and wait on me.
Yeah.
Right. So, and what they did was the haircuts were like $5. And they were all like, I'm going with you when you leave. I'm going with you when you leave. At the time, haircuts were like $20, $25 outside of school.
Yeah, I remember they used to be.
And, so they started giving me, they would pay the $5 and they would tip me $20.
Whoa.
I mean, they would tip me to $15. Wow. So they came in with the attitude to give
more than the school.
Yeah, I made a lot of money in school.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I lived.
Wow.
That's how I lived. Wow. And
at 20, and you was what, 21, 22 around this time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. And they as a matter of fact, when I left, I took so many clients. The owner of the school came to me and he said he's never seen that done before.
Wow.
He has never seen nobody. He said because normally when people go to hair school, that's because they like that cheap price.
Yeah.
They ain't going. When you leave, they gonna find the next best person.
I like you. All right, dog. I'll see you later. But I just pray that I find another barber like you here.
For $6.
Yeah. And then they go, that's the favor of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was. That's what I'm saying. God was through all of this.
He was through it all.
He was letting me know then that this is my purpose.
This is my purpose. And
this is my purpose.
That's what I was about.
Yeah.
But even though that was happening, you were getting the clients from the school.
Yeah.
At that time when you were getting the clients, had you realized your purpose then, or did it come even later?
No, I realized my purpose. Well, I didn't say I realized my purpose. I realized how much I loved it when
How
I
much
was
you
in
loved it?
school, when I
Okay, well
left,
that's
and
it. Your purpose
as I continued. Yeah, so I did go and get my son.
Wow. You did go back to what you were
Pack him
saying.
up.
I want to let you know since you wanted that, I got my
Pack him up.
hey, back him up. I want him. And that's
He's coming back.
and that's and you know, and that's good.
Yeah.
And if you consider, you know, the road, the trajectory that, you know, that you and your son's father, y'all took, right? And then because that was a desire of yours, that I want you to be in his life. I
Right.
want you to be a
Right.
part of what I'm going through, that we made this baby together. You know what I
Right.
mean? I want you to experience the stuff I
Right.
experienced. I ain't saying you got to cry, but I want you to experience what I
Right.
experienced. Experiencing when it comes to raising this child. And then all of a sudden, you got all of a sudden, now he's involved. And he got the child, right? He's involved. He got the child. So now you like, hey, I want my baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had
You
to
know?
go against. I honestly, I went against how I am to even ask him to take him.
Yeah, yeah.
I was on a whole nother adrenaline.
Yeah.
I need you. It ain't no can you. I need you to take him for 1 year.
So now you in control now. You know what I mean? Whereas he was in control. So I know that probably felt liberating. But
Yeah.
listen, man, I got to get you back. And I say that I got to get you back on here. You know, the time is already spent, man. Listen, this has been an awesome podcast. But before we leave, listen, I want to, and I always ask my guests to, you know, if there were an individual that was listening, right, to this podcast, which there will be, and they may have gone, they may be going through exactly what you had to go through. What would you tell that individual right now if you had to say something to that?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Don't let what you see in front of you be what it is.
Yeah.
Because if you keep going, things change. And I have this thing that I always say. I even have a shirt to say, as I'm going, I'm growing.
As I'm going, I'm growing.
As I'm going, I'm growing. Wow. And you know, and I also say, as you go, you grow.
Right.
And as you grow, you know.
Right. And that's,
you know, and so that's yeah.
And that's good. And so listen, we got to get your information real quick. We got time to get her information. Share with the audience, those who want to, because I'm sure they're gonna love this podcast. They're gonna want to know, like, where's she at? I mean, tell them where they find your social media, your whatever you want to give it to our audience so they'll know.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Queen Cuts Corner. Queen Cuts was QUEENCUTZ. Corner, of course. But if you just Google Queen Cuts, QUEENCUTZ, then pretty much everything will come up on Google. And my studios is on the Riverside. Is Queen Cuts Corner Salon Studios. We do have private studios available for people that are in the beauty profession. It is not huge. It's a smaller environment, but it's a intimate environment. It's a small intimate environment. Don't have a bunch of suites, but they are very nice. The place is very nice. So if you go on Queen Cuts Corner Salon Studios on Facebook, you could actually see the studios. You can see what we have to offer. And that's it. Like I said, even with the hair product and all the gear and things like that, if you go on Queen Cuts Corner, you will see pretty much everything about me.
She everywhere.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all go and follow her. And once again, man, we thank you all for tuning in to this podcast. We love you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'm your host, HLW2, Purpose Over Pain. God bless you.